Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. Here are 3 things I want you to know for the rest of 2025. It's Rena here. Some of you know I am a Sun in Sagittarius. I definitely think you should know what your rising sign is, especially for predictive astrology. So, what can I tell you? I do natal charts, and I can find that out for you. You can do it for yourself, obviously, too, but you must have your time of birth. But in any case, this can, even if this is your sun sign, I think it's helpful to listen for both the sun and the ascendant. So these are not the only highlights of 2025, but here are 3 things that I think are very important to just kind of like a little teaser for the rest of the year, because what are we talking about here now? I'm recording this on April 1st. We could say that we're 1/3 of the year done. So we still have quite a ways to go. The first thing I want to talk about is Jupiter going into Cancer in the 8th house for Sag. Now, Jupiter is our ruler, so we're always paying attention to wherever Jupiter is going. And the 8th house is other people's money. Jupiter is associated with money. It's a sign of luck and expansion. So the 8th house, other people's money, can include your spouse's, your family's money, and any kind of, and when I say spouse, also ex-spouse. And I would even include dividends and things like that. Some people talk about, if you get some kind of insurance payout, those kinds of things where you have put money into something and you're getting it out. Maybe money you didn't even remember that you had kind of put in. Maybe I would say crypto is definitely 8th house, because the 8th house is so secretive. But anyway, there are different houses that we can talk about with investments, like the 5th house. But I think that it could even come through there. And Jupiter being the planet of luck and expansion, you could see that you are receiving some kind of money coming from other people, and it might even be a significant amount. And the Jupiter transit, it lasts a year, 12 or 13 months. So this will be something that continues for quite a while. This isn't going anywhere. So keep that in mind. And the other big area of the 8th house is personal transformation. So the 8th house in astrology is Scorpio's domain. Sag is the 9th house. So we're right next to Scorpio, and we are organized religion. And Scorpio is more like the esoteric stuff, the hidden stuff, secret knowledge. Occult means hidden, and that actually includes the tarot and astrology. So you may be studying some of these things. Shamanism, paganism can fit into this area. If you have already been studying things like this, Jupiter can expand your network or base. Maybe you are going to do it professionally and you have everything in place to do it, to launch it. And it can take it further with Jupiter here. And even just on a personal note, I think it can be a great time for transforming your life, maybe from the ground floor up. And you can feel very positive about these transformations, because sometimes, the 8th house can be like shadow work. These things can come up. Jupiter expands things, so it could magnify things. So it might not be like this totally smooth sailing when it comes to exploring that, but it could have quite a beneficial effect where you look back whenever it changes signs in 2026 and say, wow, I am so glad I put in this effort and really went there, because now look at where I am. So the second thing I want to mention is that Uranus is going into the opposite sign of Sagittarius on July 7th, which is Gemini. And that means the opposite house, the seventh house of committed partnership. How this can play out is that all of a sudden you do not want necessarily to be in a committed partnership, or you want to loosen those terms. You want to have more freedom within that relationship. And for some Sages, this is no big deal. You're already in a relationship that may have you may feel pretty good about your ability to feel free, but maybe you're going to take it to the next level and travel alone, or just, live apart from your partner for an extended period of time. Not like you're getting separated from them, but simply that you want to just have that time to, maybe it's a special thing that you want to do, but it could be something that is just like a feeling of freedom. And then the third thing, now this is the really crazy thing. Honestly, I could have had like 5 things, 6 things, but I don't want to make this like just a reading for 2025, but I'll just try to touch upon it briefly. I'm not going to be able to touch upon all of the influences. In the fall of 2025, Northern Hemisphere style, we're going to have, which is spring in the Southern Hemisphere, we're going to have, it's going to be eclipse season again. And for Sag, this is going to affect the home and career sectors. So these are angular houses that are very, very important in astrology, but just in our own lives, we know that they're important, and they can affect what we're doing for a living. And they can, but also our stature in society. This could be a time of great success sometimes. Sometimes it could be a fall from grace. I mean, if you have Pluto transiting the 10th house, I suppose, and you're doing bad things because it's your public reputation. But anyway, on the first of the month, Saturn, which has been in fellow fire sign Aries, in your 5th house, goes back into your 4th house. And this can be something where there's something going on where you have to do something home-wise. Maybe this is related to even adding to a home. Who knows? I mean, it could be like a physical construction, but there's something domestically that needs to be reworked, and you need to rededicate yourself to it. But on the 7th, there's a lunar eclipse here, and that can mean that you completely let go of something. Sometimes this can be, you're living someplace for a really long time, or even your homeland. The 4th house can be your country of origin, and you just let it go because maybe you want to live abroad or something along those lines. But then on the 21st, we have a solar eclipse at 21st at 29 degrees of Virgo, which is the critical degree. This is like, the summation of this transit, and it's like a condensed version of whatever, not transit because it is a transit, but it's not like a long-term transit, but it's just like happening in this house of career. So to me, what that suggests is that you can benefit from something that you've worked for a long time, and finally it's getting that break. It's getting that ability, like a quantum leap. I do feel that I was just saying that to Gemini. about the lunar eclipse, but I think that that can also apply, maybe even more so with the solar eclipse here in the 10th house of career. And so that is really exciting for Sages. All right, that's what I have for you, Sag. I hope that this resonated. Like I said, this is just a general forecast. If you want to dive deeper, I have a package deal called the Deep Dive. It's you save money because you're buying two readings at once that are, I feel that they're very connected to one another. And they're both full-length readings. The first one is a natal chart interpretation, at least an hour of that, and then coupled with an hour of transits for the next 12 months. And if you like the tarot, I have one with all three of those called the whole enchilada. And I've been selling those recently a lot more, and I've been surprised by that because I just figured that a lot of people either they like the tarot or they like astrology. I didn't really think that people would do that, and I've been pleasantly surprised. So yeah, there's that version as well. And I have also those readings by themselves, and I also have like career readings, love readings, looking at your child's natal chart, not for predictive purposes, just to understand him or her better, that kind of thing, knowing how to make the most of their gifts and encourage them, your relationship with your child. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for listening. Bye.